Man, it's 8 in the morning on a beautiful North Carolina Thursday. T-minus 2 days until we leave for drag week on Saturday morning. And this girl needs a little bit more love. We're gonna give it to her today. I'm gonna try to wrap this all up today. I've been saying that for like a week. My garage is in shambles right now. This mess is a place. But we're almost done. So that's it. So let's get to it. Okay, so today I'm working on making a in-tank pump to put that Walbro 450 pump inside of the fuel cell so we can actually have a smaller streetable pump. The magnet fuel pump is streetable, but I don't want to put a bunch of unnecessary wear and tear. And that thing flows a ton of fuel all the time, and it just gets it really, really hot. So we want to put a smaller in-tank in there to kind of alleviate that. So what I'm doing is I showed you guys before, I have a small 3-gallon fuel cell in the back of the car that really does nothing. I built it with the intentions of running pump gas in the big one and race gas in the small one. Now I just run it on E85 exclusively. So that tank just kind of sits in there. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna turn that into kind of like a surge tank. I'm gonna put a Walbro 450 in that thing. So what I've done is I've taken this pattern right here, which is just the lid. I unbolted the lid from the top of it. This is just a standard fuel cell lid. It's on almost any fuel cell made. And then I've traced it out onto a big, thick sheet of like 11 gauge aluminum, like so. And then I'm using my Milwaukee bandsaw mounted in a Swag Off-Road portaband stand. You can find these at swagoffroad.com. This thing is really awesome. I did a video on this on Bull City Speed if you want to go back and look at it on how this thing works. And it's like $100, but it's really, really handy. It converts a handheld bandsaw into a vertical bandsaw at a fraction of the price. You can cut all kinds of stuff out on it, and it works really, really good. So that's what we're doing today. And here, I've covered it before in another video a long, long time ago. Not so pro tip for you. If you're gonna be cutting aluminum with a fine-tooth metal blade, take a thing of bar soap and rub it on the blade. Get it on the side. Don't look at a camera while your fingers are near the blade. Okay, safety third, I always say. But doing that, the soap on it will keep the aluminum from clogging up your blade. Freebie for you. Alright, got the pattern cut out, and I have traced the holes and also center punched them. I'll take this thing over to the drill press now, knock all the holes out of this thing, and then try to figure out how I'm going to mount the pump and drop it down into the tank on this bad boy. Okay, so I've mocked up what's going on inside. This is the top of the cell, and then this is going to be representative of the bottom. The fuel cell goes down about 12.5 inches, so I want to leave about a ½ inch of clearance off the bottom of it. Basically, the way I'm going to mount this, I'm going to weld this on here. I'm not very keen on welding aluminum because I'm not very good at it. So we'll see how this goes. I'm going to try this first. I've always said I am more of a grinder than I am a welder, but that actually didn't come out too terribly bad. I probably could have cleaned it a little bit better. It's crazy hot right now, otherwise I would pick it up. But I've had this TIG welder for a couple years, man, and I rarely ever do aluminum. I usually have been pawning that off, but I'm trying to force myself to get into it more and more and more. This is just a AHP Alpha TIG 200. It's like $700 on eBay, but this thing does a lot of stuff. And I've had buddies of mine that work for some pretty big name companies as fabricators that they do it full time, and I think the direct quote was, "Man, this thing doesn't suck." So I took that as a compliment. It's not a red or a blue machine like a Miller or Lincoln like everybody else, you know. But for the home hobbyist, if you're just doing stuff in your garage, the thing works pretty good. So there you go. That's a good look. Are you getting the picture yet? Are you tracking where I'm going? Are you digging what I'm shoveling here? I got this push lock hose fitting, so this guy, it's really nice to see that when it's black. So it makes for a great video. But from there to here, I just gotta connect that short little run. I got a big old tube of the Fragola push lock, so just gonna jam that on there, and then this thing will be plumbed internally. I drilled and slammed that Dash 8 bulkhead in there because just had it laying around, and I had a gasket for it on both sides to seal it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run the wires through that and then I'm gonna seal them with like some RTV or probably like a JB Weld or some kind of an epoxy to prevent anything from leaking, and it'll keep the wires from moving around inside and chafing against the body of that. I need to find what kind of wiring I need to have it submerged and fueled, but I'm really happy with how this came out. It drops in there. Dude, it fits better than like most OEM in-tank pumps. So that should be the ticket to keeping my fuel temperatures low on drag week. I'm stoked. And we are done, minus a few zip ties to secure some of this wiring here, but the fuel pump install for the street tank is complete. So if you couldn't picture it this whole time, we got Walbro 450 in-tank pump. The fuel cells are balanced out between that -8 line right here. So this big boy right here is what I'm gonna fill up, and then it'll just trickle over into the smaller guy, acting like kind of like a surge tank. -6 feed into a ball valve. Right now we're in race mode. So this filter, which is an OEM filter for one of those trucks, into an adapter, -6 line down here into the great abyss. It tees into post the race pump and filter and runs onto the front. The return still comes in right here in the big tank. That's fine because I checked it. I had this thing running for a few minutes and the level inside of this tank right here never dropped low enough. Even with the return taking everything on, they still balanced out. I was a little concerned about that, but we're okay in that department. So when we go from race mode to street mode, the routine is like this. We shut this valve off, we turn this valve on, and then I unhook the race pump and hook up the street pump to one relay. That's it. Now we're in street mode. And this thing is whisper quiet. Here, I'm gonna play you the difference here. So here is street pump priming. All right, let's switch it back over to race pump. This is the difference in how loud these pumps are. I'm stoked on it. This thing is actually gonna be somewhat tolerable to drive on the street with that change made. Now, we just need to quiet the exhaust up a little bit for the street drive. And this thing should be relatively comfortable to drive on the street for an 8-second car. So that's it. We have one more big thing to do. Man. So, there's a rare occasion every once in a blue moon that I impress even myself. And that is not easy to do. But check this out. It's a full 4-inch exhaust. We're gonna try and get it behind the window so it is not, that 5-inch exhaust coming out of the fender is insanely loud. So we're hoping this knocks that down a little bit, put the exhaust out behind the passenger compartment, and it kind of looks badass. It's pretty sick. And that's all 4-inch stainless. And I think I may actually try my hand at TIG welding it. I'm not gonna back purge it, so don't ask. But this is how it's set up, check it out. I made a 5-inch plug that slips inside of here. And you can see it clamped right there. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a set screw, a couple of them, like nuts and bolts, and then this will slide into the exhaust and it'll bolt in. And then I'm gonna run hangers underneath off the bottom to support that under there. And then when we get to the track, we'll undo the bolts and then undo however I figure out to do the hangers on the bottom, and this whole exhaust will slide right out. Okay, so it's not hung on there at all, and I'm trying to figure out, I think I'm gonna put a joint right here to make it easier to take it on and off, and then we're gonna put some kind of bolt to retain it inside of the slip fit in there. But that is, this is street mode, and I really, really wanna hear what it sounds like. So hopefully it doesn't rattle its face off, but let's see.
Right here.
finished it. Oh, it's amazing. Let me see what it's like in the car. This isn't gonna come through on the camera very well, but I'll know. Dude, this is so this is like way more tolerable inside than it was before. That's still really friggin' loud. But I think I can live with that. I can carry on a conversation at like a normal level. Hang on. It's kind of mellow. I don't know how like clear you can hear what I'm saying, but it should be coming through pretty good because, I mean, in my own head, I sound amazing. So I'm stoked. Hell yeah. Finish up some brakes, finish mounting this thing, it'll be golden. Like a shower. This is badass. Alright, it is, dude, like 8 o'clock Friday before drag week. I don't even know what date it is anymore, but if we don't got it, we don't need it. We are loaded up and ready to hit the road. I'm hitting the road tomorrow about 5:30 in the morning. The goal is to be in Atlanta by 1, pick up our U-Haul trailer, unload the car, and then transfer everything over to see how that's gonna play out with the car. But for all intents and purposes, we're as ready as we're gonna be. So, wish us luck. I'm confident. I'm still pretty confident, kind of. Done. See y'all there. It's hard to explain. They're talking